Peter, let me put this on top.
When 2-year-old Sasha was 4 months, his parents noticed his appetite started to diminish, and he was not able to keep food down. At the time, his dads, Chad Clark and Matt Corker, thought their baby had acid reflux, but after a visit to the hospital, it turned out to be more serious.
That was the craziest part of the whole thing. Was you think you have a healthy baby, and then, that day the nurses and doctors were basically like, we're going to do everything we can to make sure he survives the night.
Sasha was born without a mitral heart valve, a life-threatening condition which caused blood to pool in his heart, and as a result, it expanded 3 times larger than normal.
The reason he stopped eating pre-surgery was because his heart was so swollen it had pinched his esophagus. So he couldn't physically swallow.
And then was impinging on his lungs, so he was having trouble breathing.
Little Sasha went into surgery a few days later and spent 12 days at the hospital to get his heart valve repaired.
He had a huge mask on to help him breathe, and he had needles everywhere. It was a horrifying thing to see. We had nurses and doctors coming through, looking at his scans in complete shock that this was a living child. They're like, the fact that he's alive is wild.
But the journey isn't over yet. Clark says once Sasha is older, he will need his temporary heart valve replaced with a mechanical one. But for now, Sasha is an active boy. His dad's preemptively monitoring him for any signs of trouble.
He wants to run around, he wants to climb, he wants to slide, he wants to swim. And so there's these moments where you're like, oh, we won't actually know until that moment. So the hardest thing is just being able to act normal and, let him be a kid.
Clark and Corker say they are grateful to the BC's Children's Hospital for their support and for saving their son's life.
What we learned after the successful surgery was that there is mild, moderate, and severe heart failure, and Sasha was going through severe plus heart failure.
This Father's Day, these 2 dads say they are forever grateful.
With surrogacy and just being 2 dads, we don't take any of it for granted. And then when you see what we've been through, see how fleeting it could potentially be, or how delicate the balance is, that it could all just be gone in a moment.
But we get to be an example of how caregiving looks differently for dads.
Show the camera.
Hi, camera.
In Vancouver, Angela Bauer, City News.